Good morning, students. Students, today we will start the topic with the preamble of our constitution. Let's read it and go through it. Let's read the preamble of our constitution very carefully and understand the meaning of each of its keywords. The preamble of constitution reads like a poem on democracy. It contains the philosophy on which the entire constitution has been built. It provides a standard to examine and evaluate any law and action of government to find out whether it is good or bad. It is the soul of Indian Constitution. Now this is the preamble of Indian Constitution, and let me recite it. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice of social, economic, and political, liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. So, in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. And this pledge was taken by the Constituent Assembly on 26th November 1949. Okay, now there are some uh, definitions of some of the things which were there in preamble. Now let us see again. We the people of India, it means the constitution has been drawn up and enacted by the people, कि ये हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाया गया है, लागू किया गया हमारे देश के लोगों के द्वारा ही, थ्रू देयर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स एंड नॉट हैंडेड डाउन टू दैम बाय अ किंग और एनी आउटसाइड पर्सन पावर, कि अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के द्वारा ही भारत के देशवासियों ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बनाया और ख़ुद को हैंडेड ओवर किया, लेकिन किसी राजा या किसी आउटसाइड पावर की तरफ से नहीं. नाउ सेकेंड पॉइंट इज सॉवरेन. People have supreme right to make decisions on internal as well as external matters. No external power can dictate the government of India. Means we are internally as well as externally free. Third is socialist. Wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by society. I mean to say all the resources, means they should not be in the hands of few people, but they can be shared by the whole community. Government should regulate the ownership of land and industry to reduce socio-economic inequality. The third one is secular. Means citizens have complete freedom to follow any religion. Means there is no official religion in India. गवर्नमेंट ट्रीट्स ऑल द रिलीजियस बिलीव्स एंड प्रैक्टिस विद इक्वल रिस्पेक्ट, कि सभी धर्मों के भावनाओं को, सभी धर्मों के रीति रिवाजों को हमारे देश की सरकार बिल्कुल एक जैसा सम्मान देती है. डेमोक्रेटिक, अ फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट वेयर पीपल एंजॉय इक्वल पॉलिटिकल राइट्स, इलेक्ट देयर रूलर्स एंड होल्ड देम अकाउंटेबल, कि एक ऐसी सरकार जहाँ पर लोग ही अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को चुनते हैं और और उनको उत्तरदायी बनाते हैं. The government is run according to some basic rules. Now let's move further, and the next one is republic. It means the head of the state is an elected person and not a hereditary position. Means जो हमारा देश का राजा है, जिसको हम राजा कहते हैं या हेड कहते हैं या मैं उसको प्रेसिडेंट भी कह सकती हूँ, वो इलेक्टेड पर्सन होता है, कोई हेरिडिटरी नहीं है, वंशानुगत नहीं है. जस्टिस, citizen cannot be discriminated on the ground of caste, religion and gender. Social inequalities have to be reduced. Government should work for the welfare of all, especially of disadvantaged groups. Now liberty means azadi. There is no unreasonable restrictions on the citizen in what they think, how they wish to express their thoughts, and the way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action. Now next one is equality. All are equal before the law. The traditional social inequalities have to be ended. जो हमारे पहले सोशल इनइक्वालिटीज़ थी वो सारी की सारी ख़त्म करनी है. द गवर्नमेंट शुड एंश्योर इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर ऑल. एंड द लास्ट इज फ्रेटर्निटी मीन्स भाईचारा. All of us should behave as if we are members of the same family. No one should treat a fellow citizen as inferior. So all these points, they are being covered in our preamble. Now let's move further, and this is the last point: institutional design. अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज़ नॉट मेयरली अ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ वैल्यूज़ एंड फिलोसफी. ये केवल एक ऐसे स्टेटमेंट नहीं है जो हमारे वैल्यूज़ और फिलोसफी पर आधारित है, बट एज वी नोटेड अबाउट, जैसे कि हमने ऊपर देखा, अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज़ मेनली अबाउट इम्बॉडिंग दीज वैल्यूज. सिर्फ बनाने की बात नहीं है बल्कि लागू भी करना है, देना भी है. एंड इंस्टीट्यूशनल अरेंजमेंट्स, मच ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट कॉल्ड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया इज़ अबाउट दीज अरेंजमेंट्स. और वो डॉक्यूमेंट जिसको हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया कहते हैं, उसमें ये सभी अरेंजमेंट्स की गई हैं. इट इज़ अ वेरी लॉन्ग एंड डिटेल्ड डॉक्यूमेंट, देयरफॉर इट नीड्स टू बी अमेंडेड क्वाइट रेगुलरली टू कीप इट अपडेट. क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा एक डॉक्यूमेंट है, इसलिए समय समय पर इसमें सुधार करना बहुत ज़रूरी है जिससे ये अपडेट रहे. दोज हु क्राफ्टेड द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन फेल्ट that it has to be in accordance with people's aspiration and changes in society. क्योंकि जिन्होंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाया था उन्होंने ये पहले ही महसूस कर लिया था कि जैसे जैसे समाज में बदलाव आएगा तो इसमें बदलना, इसमें बदलाव करना ज़रूरी है. They did not see it as a sacred, static and unalterable law. उन्होंने ये नहीं देखा कि ये तो एक पवित्र ऐसी किताब है जिसमें कुछ भी बदलाव नहीं हो सकता. So they made provisions to incorporate changes from time to time, and these changes are called constitutional amendment. The constitution describes the institutional arrangements in a very legal language. If you read the constitution for the first time, it can be quite difficult to understand. कि जब शुरू में पहली बार कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना था तो उसको हम समझ नहीं पाए थे. येट द बेसिक इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिज़ाइन इज़ नॉट वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड. लेकिन जो बेसिक चीज़ें थी वो डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं थी. Like any constitution, the Indian constitution lays down a procedure for choosing persons to govern the country. It defines who will have how much power to take which decision, and it puts limit on what the government can do by providing some rights to the citizens that cannot be violated. The remaining these chapters in this book are about these three aspects of working of Indian constitution, and we shall look at some key constitutional provisions in each chapter and understand how they work in democratic politics. But this textbook will not cover all these salient features of the institutional design in the Indian constitution, but some other aspects will be covered in your textbook next year. So some of the main points are being given in our further chapters, and maximum you are going to read in 10th class. So this is all about this chapter, and I hope you must have understood. And now these are some of the key features, or you will have to do yourself. So this is all for the day. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.